Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Just kidding. Neither DP or Jay. At least for right now. It's the Austin and Kenny Show.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
We all we got. We're all we need.
We all we got. We all we need. You said it.
That's how we do it here on Old School, brought to you by the Mercado. Certified Piedmontese, in the words of Jay Foreman. Every type of meat, every type of cut. I still got to check it out.
You got to check it out?
Got to get
You haven't been there yet?
I have not.
So we got burgers a while back, and I threw them on the grill. They're pretty good.
Good.
They're really good. So
got the Kenny Wilhite stamp of approval.
Yes.
Excellent.
Sent Jay the picture. He told me to let him know how they were. Very good. So
excellent.
Thank you.
For sure. I see you have a smoothie. What's in it?
Oh, mango.
Ooh, mangoes. Okay.
Mango.
Okay.
That's my go-to.
Nice.
Yes.
I was on a kick there for a while getting smoothies so much. I would get, let me think. It was blueberry, strawberry, apple, and then the other one I get was pineapple orange.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Got to go with mango. Mango or strawberry. I don't like blueberries too much.
The seeds stay in there. It's stuck in my teeth.
Yes.
Obnoxious.
Yes, very.
We were talking about some of the tubbier, heftier players in sports there in the crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Who were some of those guys at Nebraska football that you had to transform their bodies?
Oh, that was a lot.
Not to call them out or name any names, but
was,
the best transformations, I guess.
That was a lot. Well, there was two, for sure recently, and they were twins.
Let me guess, they were from Missouri?
They were from Missouri. Yep.
Played on the defensive line?
Played on the defensive line.
Got to the NFL?
Got to the NFL. But when I played, there was a lot of guys that needed their bodies to transfer, and they did because of their work ethic, their dedication. Shoot, when I tore my knee, I played at 174, 175.
Oh.
I tore my knee.
Yeah.
And hit the weight room, but I got like up to 195.
Woo!
Yes.
Nice.
No, not nice.
Well,
not nice. So that was spring. Went through spring ball, 4 months out of surgery. Went through spring ball, off a torn ACL.
Ugh.
4 months out of surgery. So,
oh boy.
But that summer, hit it.
Yeah.
Hit it.
I'm like a wrestler?
Hit it.
Yeah.
6 a.m. Ran, did cardio and conditioning and lifting with the team. Then in the evening, I would go do aerobics. Came back at 173.
Nice.
Hit it. Ate right. I left. My go-to back then, you never. It was that original chicken sandwich from Burger King.
Okay.
And the Nestle Crunch bar, the big one.
Ooh, yeah, not the little fun size. No,
the big one. Yeah. That was my go-to.
Ooh, I respect it.
Cut all that out. Showed up at 173.
What percentage of that transformation is diet? How much of it is the work, the physical aspect?
It goes hand in hand because I work out now, but I eat whatever.
Right.
So I'm not playing anymore. But if I wanted to lose, I'd have to change my diet.
I can't even think about
it. You're a slim dude. I can't see you gaining weight. I cannot see you,
Kenny. I tried so hard in high school. I tried so hard. Didn't do it. Didn't work for me. I was eating billions of calories a day. Tried the protein shakes. I can't keep weight on. I can't.
So I come from a family of, my grandmother was she was a big lady. My granddad was kind of skinny, but everybody else were healthy, so to speak. So if I don't watch it, I can be healthy. That's how I know it, when I got to 195. So that's why I got to sometimes watch what I eat or work couple more extra minutes in the steam room.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but no, because I come from a healthy family.
Nice.
So I know I can get there. All my brothers are healthy. They're bigger.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I got to eat right.
Better safe than sorry.
or work out.
Or
There you go.
right. So along those same lines, from his, I'm trying to think, freshman to sophomore to junior year, we heard a lot about Adrian Martinez bulking up,
Yes.
putting on weight. He didn't look the same.
Mm-mm.
What was the rationale behind giving him more muscle, and how did that end up hurting him?
I think he got too big too fast.
Just in that one off
Just
season?
in that one off season, he got too big too fast. Some of it was good weight, some of it was bad weight.
What's the difference for him in that situation?
Because you can see it around his midsection. I don't think he really concentrated on his core. So you have to work every part of your body. Like Tommy Armstrong, for example, he was a thicker guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then he slimmed down his midsection, and he was able to do more. Adrian got bigger, but his midsection wasn't where it should have been. His core wasn't where it should have been. So it affected some of the ways he moved. He wasn't able to move as quick as he was. I watched a video of him against Buffalo coming in. That run.
Yeah. He got caught on the two.
He got caught on the two.
Mm-hmm.
Stamina. You know what I mean? So
freshman Adrian probably houses it.
He housed that. He'll house that.
How then for those players do you find what a good playing weight is? Because I'm sure there's a range to some degree of you want to be close to this. But then in a case like Adrian's, how do you cut that weight then? I mean, for him, it sounds like it was mostly the bad stuff around the core that if you worked on that, it could go down. But how do you go about finding that target weight? And then how do you adjust that?
It's mostly what you eat. And you got to be smart after 5, what you put in your body. They get that Husker bucks and they go to Chipotle, Cane's.
They're right there. It's dangerous.
Dangerous. What's that? Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A in the Union now.
So
Steak and Shake.
So you just got to be careful what you put in your body, and then your workout you have to burn those calories.
As a quarterback, since we're kind of on that train, we think of, arm strength, how far you can throw a ball, how fast you can throw it. As much as it is about the arm, I feel like that starts with the core and the legs, even though it's arm strength.
Yes.
How important are, working the legs and the core versus the arm for a quarterback in the offseason?
In the offseason is very important, because if your core and your legs go, your strength goes. Just like a pitcher.
Sure.
Right? It's just like a pitcher. If you don't have that force, you ain't gonna have that strength in your arm. So it works hand in hand, and I think a lot of guys work on it in the offseason. They have to. You have to. At the quarterback position, I don't think you don't want to throw every day, because that's a lot of wear and tear on your arm.
Okay.
But you want to work on the mechanics. You can get a band, work on the motion, your hip, your torque.
Without actually throwing 60-mile-an-hour passes.
Yeah. So you want to work on that every day.
So just like resistance bands, like against a fence, or
resistance band against the fence, or in the weight room. You wrap it around the bars and do whatever you need to do with it.
When I think of like a rocked up quarterback, I think Tim Tebow, maybe a little pudgy, but what he turned into, especially in the NFL, like his arms were huge. Was that what held him back as a passer? Was it something else mechanical? He just never have it, and he got by at Florida? If
you get too big, you're going to be stiff. You're going to have some stiffness. So his arms and his upper body got so big, there was some stiffness. And I'm willing to bet you, if you go back and watch his release, it changed. You know what I mean?
Sure.
From when he was smaller to when he got bigger, his release changed. You can get more behind it, but I'm sure that release changed. So you don't want to get too big in the upper body too fast, because you're going to become stiff.
And that's where I look at like the pictures of Levis and Richardson in this year's draft. Those dudes are different, ripped, but it's not like meathead.
No.
They look like they've been in the weight room, that they can, withstand being running quarterbacks, having some mobility, but their releases still look fine. And I just wonder what Tim Tebow could have been if he would have, done more bands instead of more bench.
I'll give you a name, Johnny Stanton.
He's a fullback now.
That's how big he was when he played quarterback, when he was here. When I came back and I saw that, I'm like, holy, that's a quarterback. He was rocked up. And I'm like, there's no way he's going to play quarterback.
And he didn't.
And you see where he ended up at fullback. I think he's still holding on in the NFL a little bit.
With the Browns
With
still.
the Browns, yeah. So, yeah, I saw him. I was like, he's not a quarterback because he was swole. Now, again, the style of offense that they were trying to run with the quarterbacks then, they had to be, or they thought they needed to be a little bit thicker to withstand the punishment that they were going to take running the quarterback. So, but you see where he ended up.
That's just such an odd transition, quarterback to fullback. Even if he looks like one, I feel like the mentality is so different.
I think he had the mentality.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just the way, just watching him when he was here. I think he, like you asked me about quarterback going to defensive back. It's a mentality. Do you have it or you don't have it? He had it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So even when Tommy was coming out, they were saying, do I think he could play a different position? Running back, maybe receiver. Can he go on the defense side of the ball? Don't know.
Who was Tommy Armstrong, the locker room guy?
Tommy was good in the locker room. He just sometimes his approach to his teammates and how he got on them was a little. He just needed to do it differently.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But in the locker room, he was good.
Gotcha.
Yep.
He's a guy that I think is still underrated in Nebraska history. I mean, he won 9-10 games a year, had that hit on the sideline against Ohio State, but Tommy was a warrior. I mean, tough dude. I remember the Oregon game.
Yes.
That last run, he's cramping up,
yes,
hobbling into the end zone. I know the offense was more spread out and more open, but I don't think we give Tommy Armstrong enough credit.
We don't. He won a lot of games with his legs. We talked about it earlier in a previous on the air, but we talked about doing things to what you have on your roster. Tommy's a running quarterback, RPO quarterback. He's not a drop back quarterback.
No. And
that's what they were trying to do with him. And when you don't have the guys up front to protect you, now you got to go back to what you know, and he did it. He got us out of a lot of mess. Now, he made some mistakes. It's the same way with Adrian. He made some mistakes, but when you don't have people in front of him to protect him, there's going to be some gambling, or he's going to have to use his legs, and that's what Adrian did, and that's what Tommy did. Tommy doesn't get a lot of credit for what he did.
No, he doesn't. Also had a really good arm. A lot of arm talent.
He had a strong arm. Again, accuracy, he struggled with that sometimes.
Was that arm or was that platform?
Both. You watch his release sometimes, and you watch he tried to throw it too hard. He really tried to get behind it sometimes really too hard, and that's where his accuracy it showed up. His lack of accuracy showed up, but he's a guy that he doesn't get enough credit.
For sure. We're old school here. Austin and Kenny with you for now. Jay Foreman will be hopping in about half an hour. We are also expecting to talk to the Upside Bar and Lounge, another UFC fight this weekend. That's where DP is. DP's out this weekend in Miami on the beach, quote unquote, working.
He is not working.
Not a second.
No, not on the beach.
No. Granted, he does a lot of work when he's here, so we can give him this one, but let's not pretend like he's working right now.
No.
This is vacation.
This is vacation.
And good for you, DP. You've heard it.
Enjoy it.
Absolutely. So we'll step aside. That's a good first segment here on Old School. Austin and Kenny with you, JLB, and eventually back after this.
Preparing for spring, things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training steps are you the best week. If you have perfect time to figure out a mate and spots left. We trim trees and shrubs needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish, and don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi.
honey. Remember I told Jamie and Mike about Liberty Free, their checking account and car loans, amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy to do all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline, 476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Hi, it's Joe. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to the latest on the stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. StarterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year. Times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's effort. It's the entire dealership, sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day. Keep up and run. At Landmark, we understand time is get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking is a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today. Great at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is not On the Block. This is old school. But when you're at time crunch, enough time to record extra rejoins, you get On the Block for old school. So, sorry, DP. Sorry, Jay. But that's what you get when you leave me in charge. Plain and simple. Austin and Kenny with you here, joined by a special guest. Welcome.
Hi.
How you doing?
Pretty good. It's Friday.
It is. We made it. Friday, as Strick and I were calling it. And we're on the eve of another UFC fight. Is that correct?
Yes, that is tomorrow. Prelims start at 7.
Prelims start at 7. Best place to watch it, the Upside Bar and Lounge, correct?
Yep, that's where I would watch it.
Absolutely. Who we got fighting? I haven't even looked.
Oh, gosh.
You're hosting the fight and you don't know who's fighting? I bet you DP knows.
Well, he's down there.
I know.
Yeah.
Does Adesanya sound right? Pereira Adesanya, maybe? Yes. There we go.
So I love having the fights. I'm a really good bar owner, I feel like, but I enjoy watching them, but I'm really not. I don't have a lot of time to follow them. So yeah, sorry.
Understandable. So the Upside Bar and Lounge, why is it the best place to watch the fight?
First off,
Pump yourself up.
we don't charge a cover, so that's awesome.
Sold.
Yep. We've got plenty of TVs. I think I want to say there's 7. And they're all around it's a kind of a small area, but it's not small. You can fit a lot of people in there. And we've got great food. We actually keep the kitchen open longer on fight nights. We got Keno and darts, and it's just a fun crowd. It's fun people. I've got great staff. I'm so lucky. So
that's awesome. What's your favorite thing on the menu?
The jalapeno cream cheeseburger. Yep, that is. Oh, and actually, sorry, I take it back.
Oh, not the jalapeno cream cheeseburger.
That is my favorite, but we just released some flatbread pizzas last week, and the pepperoni jalapeno cream cheese flatbread would be my favorite.
Sensing a theme here.
I was just about to say the same thing, but I'm not doing the jalapeno, so I'm good.
You can get it without the jalapeno.
Yeah,
It's pepperoni cream cheese.
No, I can't even do cream cheese.
Oh,
really?
Oh, cream cheese makes everything better.
No.
Who came up with that? The flatbread. Of course,
Yeah,
you're the idea person.
Yep. One day I just was like, you know what, we're gonna do this. And I've talked about it a few times, and then I just decided. I showed up to the bar that night. I said, here's some flatbreads, here's some menus, this is the recipes we're gonna do. So we've got a buffalo chicken one, we've got a barbecue pulled pork one, we've got a taco one with Doritos on top.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
No, I may do that
good.
one. I may do the taco one because I love Doritos, but
we're talking nacho cheese or Cool Ranch Doritos?
Nacho cheese.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't do Cool Ranch.
You don't do Cool Ranch? Really? I mean, nacho cheese are better. I think we can agree on that.
Yes.
But you just don't do Cool Ranch Doritos.
Nope.
If I was gonna eat them plain, I'd probably do Cool Ranch. But on my taco pizza, I like the nacho cheese.
My brothers are the purple ones, the sweet and spicy.
Never had it.
I'm trying to think. Let me see if I can
That's
find
yeah,
it
you're
real
right.
quick.
But I don't do nothing spicy. I want to enjoy my food.
Well, I mean, they're not like spicy.
They're spicy. Yeah.
The jalapenos would be.
Yeah. Any drink specials?
So on fight nights, we actually stop our drink specials at 7 because we don't
'Cause
charge
you
a
don't
cover.
charge.
Yep. So I mean, otherwise I could charge a cover, but it's a better deal by not. So yeah.
You have the old fashioned and the margarita clubs, right? How are those going?
So the old fashioned club, we're just waiting on the menus. We've been trying them out with some customers. We actually got, I'm pretty excited. They're kind of like smoke boxes, but not anyway. So we can smoke the old fashioned, and it smells amazing, and it just get this wood smell and not really flavor. It's just all about the senses with old fashioned. So we've been doing that. The customers have been loving it. It's a fun little addition, and they get to see the flames. So
Right.
Oh yeah, it's fun. So.
What goes better with alcohol than fire, right?
Yeah,
Nothing
exactly.
can ever go wrong with that.
Oh, there's plenty can go wrong with that.
What, have you ever seen anything go wrong, Kenny?
I've seen a lot go wrong.
That's
with
why
that.
the customers do not light on fire. The professional bar. Bartenders do. People gotta get in there. So
that's fight night. Take us through the week. You know, your Monday through the fight. What are some of your favorite specials in there?
So margarita night, that's fun. Tacos, margaritas. We got the margarita club. Good to do because they're $2 off from the normal price. And then Tuesday's one of my favorites. It's music bingo. We have a host come in, and it's free to play. It starts at 7, and you can even show up late. But you win prizes and drink tickets and stuff. And it's just it's a fun atmosphere. Everybody's kind of dancing around in their chairs and hopefully not dancing around on the floor too much and running into people. But yeah, they're singing along, and you don't have to sing. You don't have to know the songs. It's just a fun time.
But you
for
should.
Tuesday night. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Wednesday is just Whiskey Wednesday. It's kind of a chill night. Sometimes we have little parties and stuff. Thursday's dart night. We have dart players come in to a couple teams and half price appetizers. And then Fridays they have just been really busy. Like they don't even need anything. Fridays have just been really busy for us. So
how's the competition on darts night?
Well, they get pretty intense. The dart leagues now. Every I would say almost every single night after 10 o'clock at night, you can find both of our dart boards being used almost till 2 o'clock in the morning. Like Monday through Sunday. It is. I'm not kidding. We have so just fun. It's fun competition. Like a bunch of us have darts there, and we play each other all the time. So
you open that late? You're open that late?
Yeah, we do stay up until 2 a.m. every single night.
Gee.
So,
does anybody work?
Well,
besides your crew,
we've actually had it's kind of been like an industry kind of bar lately, where a lot of people after they get off work from the other bars and restaurants around us have come on to check us out. So
you're a bar for bar people.
Yeah,
you guys need one too.
Yes,
perfect.
Got you.
I do have to ask. Was Taco Monday intentional? Because I feel like Taco Tuesdays, what's in everyone's head? Is Taco Monday on purpose?
Like, by Tuesday, they've already had our tacos, so they don't need the competition's tacos.
When she said tacos on Monday, I'm like, oh, isn't it Taco Tuesday?
Okay, yeah. We're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they good?
Margarita Monday, so tacos have to go with your margaritas.
Well, I don't drink, so I don't. But
we can make them without alcohol too.
We've been down that road.
Yeah, we heard from Kevin yesterday about non-alcoholic beer, and not even that could tempt Kenny.
No,
So,
really. Yeah. So we do carry a couple Mango Cart NA and Lagunitas.
Hear that,
NA.
Kenny? Mango. We talked
I'll
about that
stick to
too.
my mango juice stop. I'm good.
I had juice stop earlier today. I would do that too.
So are they hard shell or soft shell?
Both. Yep, you can do hard or soft. Yep.
Nice.
10 margaritas.
Yep.
What's your favorite? I mean, I know they're all good, obviously, but
so I'm not a tequila fan. So,
makes it tough.
So
what are your customers like? What would they recommend?
I would say the burnt pineapple, which is the jalapeno and pineapple one. So that's really popular.
Do you do smoke with that one too?
No, we haven't tried that yet. That would be a good idea.
Margarita.
Well, talk about the smoke with the old fashions. It said it was burnt, so I had to ask.
It has tahini on the rim. I mean, that's
okay.
That's,
little kick.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? I'm gonna have to try that. Have somebody try that tonight.
Play with fire, you get burned.
But it's for the show, right?
Yeah.
It's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Put on a show for the people.
Yep, exactly.
Once again, the Upside Bar and Lounge, your place to watch. Oh, I just got rid of the fight. Adesanya and Pereira. That's the fight going on tonight. That's where DP is. It is tonight, right?
Yep. No, it's tomorrow night. It's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Yep.
Saturday night. Make sure you get there 7 o'clock.
Yep.
There you go. 7 o'clock out 27th and Pine Lake in that strip mall there. Anything else people should know when they get to the Upside Bar and Lounge?
It's just a fun place to be, and come visit us. I mean, once you go there once, I promise you'll probably be back, unless you don't live in Lincoln. So
they'd probably be back if they did live in Lincoln. If they didn't live in Lincoln.
I was gonna say you can get some Beatrice crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about like people from traveling out of state and stuff. So, but otherwise, yeah, I feel like it's just it's a fun place, and everybody just gets along, and yeah.
There you go. Once again, the Upside Bar and Lounge fight night tomorrow night on Saturday. No cover. That's huge. And then check them out throughout the week as well. You have the tacos on Monday. Music bingo. Is that just bingo with music in the background, or is it related to the music?
So if you have the song on your card, you mark it off that they play the clip from.
Okay.
And you can use your phone. It's not cheating because not everybody has the same card. So if you have it or don't. So yeah.
Got to pull up Shazam.
Yeah.
Aloud.
I definitely do. Yes.
Okay.
That's cheating.
It's not cheating though.
I would have to.
Because it's not.
I don't know enough
trivia.
songs.
It's
that
not
well.
trivia.
You
It
don't?
is just bingo.
It is hard to cheat at bingo.
Yeah.
I would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't found a way yet.
Again, innovate. See if you can, no, probably don't find a way to cheat at bingo. Once again, thanks for coming in. Best of luck tomorrow with the fight. Hope everything goes well with the bar. Again, the Old Fashioned Club getting up and going here soon. The Margarita Club, 10 of them to try. Is that right?
Yep.
There you go. Make sure you get signed up for that. We'll step aside here on Old School. Jay is, I believe, on his way, hopefully getting close. More Old School after this.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smooth. Our farmers at John Deere Equipment, Parts, and Service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment. Solutions for every field.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to the attention of the Nebraska Lottery that when people hear a radio commercial in their car for one of our lotto games, Powerball, Mega Millions, or Lucky for Life, they tend to begin daydreaming about how they'll spend the prize money if they win, instead of paying attention to the road. So please, when I tell you that Nebraska Lottery lotto games offer big money and big fun, keep your mind on driving. Do not start thinking about all the things you could buy if you win. Things like bright red sports cars, tropical vacations, 100-inch TVs, hot tubs, SUVs, a new computer, motorboats.
Bob, snap out of it.
Oh, good heavens. Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. Perhaps I should go home now.
You better let me drive.
Lotto games from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com. with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them. We're talented tech and our experience. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln. Always honest answers.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is hiring. They are looking for a garage door installation and service technician with a clean driving record. Experience is not required as they will train for the positions. However, mechanical aptitude is required. If you want to come be a part of a small business where you're family, not just an employee, call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today to apply at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840. Steve's Garage Doors and Services.
This Easter, focus on your family instead of dishes with the Venue Easter to Go meals. Prepare refreshing house meals to heat and eat with packages for 2 to 3 people or 6 to 8, and your choice of juicy beef tenderloin, tasty herb roasted chicken, or our famous 6-pepper crusted prime rib. All meal packages come with sides, and we have additional add-ons available to complete your feast. Order today at venuedelivered.com/Easter. That's venuedelivered.com/Easter.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products, great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is not On the Block, it's Old School, and it's not Austin and Strick, it's Austin and Kenny back with you here on Old School. Still waiting for the arrival of Jay Foreman, taking care of business. Busy guy, Jay.
Busy guy.
He's got work, but whatever. Well, we'll see if we let him in the door once he gets here.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
We'll see.
So, Kenny, a tree fell down at Augusta National. Big old pine tree just fell right on the 17th tee box due to the weather.
No way.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure. Hopefully, they had chainsaws available.
They say play's going to resume tomorrow, bright and early, so they must have people close enough with chainsaws. The trees missed people, thankfully. It did fall in the forest. People were there to hear it. But yeah, no one's hurt. But yeah, just a big old pine tree, just right on the 17th tee box.
So they stopped the whole tournament?
Yeah.
Till tomorrow?
Yeah.
They can delay it until they got.
Apparently, it's an hour later there. The weather's apparently getting a little bit worse,
Gotcha.
which is what helped cause the tree to fall over. So I think for everyone's safety, they're going to say, let's pump the brakes for today.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully they can resume tomorrow.
What was the worst weather you ever played in?
Oh.
Any bad ones come to mind?
Oh, yeah. Boulder, 91.
Ah, okay.
So cold. Oh, my God. Boulder, 91. I think it was probably 25 first half. We came out second half. That temperature dropped. You finding it? Are you looking it up?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, got it.
And I hit Darian Hagan on the sideline, and my shoulder went so numb from the cold. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
It was very cold. And they started throwing rocks, snowballs with rocks in them.
Of course they did.
At us from the stand.
Only Colorado.
Only Colorado.
Were they the worst fans?
Yes.
Was there anyone in their neighborhood? Because as a kid, I didn't grow up with the same, hatred of Colorado as, there was back when you were playing. Like, yeah, I knew we didn't like them, but I only ever heard horror stories out of Boulder.
Their coach created that
Mm-hmm.
rivalry, that so to speak rivalry, for his hatred for Nebraska. So we all took it personal when we played them. 90, they kind of came in here and beat up on us. We were leading to the fourth quarter. The enemy had like 4 fumbles. Yeah. And then in the fourth quarter, I think he scored 3 touchdowns. So we didn't close out the game. 91, we go over there and they block our field goal, ended in a tie. 92, they come here and we just beat the sleeves off of them. So, but their coach McCartney, he's a good coach. He recruited well for what he wanted. They were able to get a championship out of it. But I think he created that rivalry. So, to me, the rivalry was Oklahoma, Nebraska. We didn't consider Colorado a rivalry.
Interesting. Colorado obviously did.
Yes,
they wanted
did.
it.
They wanted it to be.
Jay Foreman in the building. Jay, Colorado, the worst fans you ever played in front of?
Oh yeah, by far. Yeah, but
Not even close?
That's what made them beating them even better though. They felt like they took the game serious, which is it was always competitive. They had really good players. I think just we had better teams and stuff like that. And I always say it was always different when we played Oklahoma or Colorado. It wasn't a rivalry because I never lost to them. I don't know about Kenny. And generally, if you lose to Colorado, they had to play their best game. But it was intense, and the fans make it, and it's close. And Coach McBride almost took the job, and that
would have been a real turncoat. I mean, I get it. It would have been a promotion to head coach.
He played there. He's from Chicago, and he played there.
Yeah, he played there, and then I think when McCarthy took over, McCartney took over, he had some choice words for Nebraska to try to juice things up. And look, he built that program up and to where it was sustainable. And Newhouser took over and they were still sustainable and, a national powerhouse. And, they had won a national championship. So it's not like they were pushovers, but, obviously they're in a little bit of a downturn now. But, we need to go ahead and, lay the wood to them.
We got on Colorado because a pine tree fell over on the 17th tee box at the Masters.
Okay.
What was the worst weather you ever played in?
As in college?
College, pros, whenever. Just the worst weather game you ever played in.
Playing the game up in Buffalo, man.
It's cold in Buffalo, bro.
We started the game, and it was kind of like Wednesday, right? Where Wednesday was a little cool.
Okay.
Okay, and it was a little overcast, and then they said that it could be some snow. So the first half, it might have started at say like mid 40s. So it ain't bad. That's football weather.
That's football weather.
But when we went into halftime, that's when it felt a little brisk. But you already kind of sweating. Halftime is like 15 minutes max, maybe 20. Come back out, there's snow on the ground, and it's coming down.
Like
right?
the lake effect stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the beginning of lake effect. By the time the third quarter was over, they already got the snow plows and the brush off that. But so we played the whole fourth quarter, cold as all get out and windy, right?
Yeah.
It's coming down, and we were playing the Patriots.
Of course.
Go into overtime. So now
Yay, more cold and snow.
Now it's nighttime. So now it's just bitter cold. And we drove down, and we had a great kicker in Steve Christie. He had played in the Canadian League and been in Buffalo and kicked in bad weather. He slipped, missed it.
Steve.
Vinatieri gets it, or they go drive down. He misses, slips, or just misses. Wind taking. We come down, and I don't know. We might have turned the ball over. They got the ball down, and they literally inched the ball down to like the 2-yard line and won with like 2 seconds left. That's the only game I ever played that I was like, you know what, bump this. We in overtime, but that was like when I first starting. So I'm out there trying to get it. It's hustle and bustle, and plus, it brought me back to my childhood of when. So when I first moved to Minnesota, there was some kids that went to high school. And they were pretty, I wouldn't say well off, but there was a golf course there. So we'd go out there on the golf course and play football, tackle football, right? Because it was good turf underneath there. So I was like, oh, this is right up my alley. So I remember Pat Williams, who was one of our defensive tackles, starting him and Ted Washington. He was like, man, how you had traction? First, I got flat feet and it was a little duck foot, so I got I could plant in that bad boy and get some stoppage. Second of all, this wasn't nothing to me. And Pat played at Texas A&M, and Ted played at Louisville, and he's from Florida, so they weren't used to playing in that snow. Plus, they're big dudes; they don't want to get on the ground. I was trying to get busy in there, so it was a good game individually. It was a long game. I think I stayed in the shower for like 45 minutes.
That shower stings.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
It stings.
It stings.
Did you want the warm to heat back up? Do you want like a cool but not like cold shower to?
I didn't want.
Get back to
I just didn't want. Once I started to get warm, I didn't want to go back out in the locker room.
Yes.
So then, all my boys came to that game, right? And my dad was there, and I was, usually they would rain, sleet, or snow. They'd be out there. Ask them. They like, hey man, we ain't gonna lie to you. We was in the players' lounge since they went up there after halftime.
I'm not mad at them.
I ain't mad at them either.
Last thing before we hit the break here, get to hour 2. The best and worst playing surface, actual field that you ever played on.
Missouri.
Really?
The worst?
Worse.
Yeah.
It was sand.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was sand.
Yeah, it was sand.
That's cheap.
We had to wear these wet weather cleats for traction.
The
studs. Yeah. Missouri.
Missouri was bad. I mean, when we played them in '97, me and Mike Rucker, we were roommates. So, we have our meetings or whatever, and then let's flip on the TV, and we were trying to actually search for ESPN. And Missouri was good. They had Corby Jones. And David West, the running back. They had a couple linemen that ended up playing in the pros. And we turn on the news, whatever it is down there, and they go on a live spot from the stadium. And it's warm. It wasn't like we played in November. It's warm. They watering the grass. I mean, full-fledged trying to, so they
trying to slow it down.
Trying to slow it down.
Huh.
And they got after that. They almost beat us that day. But in the pros, the worst field I ever played on was Philly back in the day. When guys were
Old Philly?
That turf, yeah. There was dead spots in there. It was it was a game where, you would kind of, because I remember watching ESPN primetime, for NFL primetime, and Fred Barnett, who was a good receiver for the Eagles, went up to get a pass, and he tore his ACL jumping for a pass off of that. And the Ravens just the year before from a Hard Knocks, remember Brian Billick, the head coach of the Ravens, said we won't play.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad. It was a health hazard. Now it's obviously up to snuff, but it was bad.
The two I hear in the Big Ten are Northwestern, because that grass is so long, and Nebraska seems to have the worst luck at Purdue. Like every year Nebraska goes to Purdue, someone tears an ACL.
Yeah, I don't think anybody got hurt this year, but
good. I know it happened to Miles.
Northwestern was bad. It's thick.
It's like Missouri.
Well, Missouri went to grass when you guys
Yeah.
played them. When we played them, it was AstroTurf, but it was all sand.
Oh, really?
It was all yes.
Yeah.
It was all sand. And it hurt.
They had the hood. They had the hood. They had the hood.
They had the hood
AstroTurf.
AstroTurf. So, but yeah, and it hurt.
Yeah,
bro.
we played a team in high school, Minneapolis North, that had it, and it was pretty much pebbles and a little bit of AstroTurf. So
Yep.
if you get in, you'll get a lot of turf burns down there.
Played on a couple turf baseball fields, but the weirdest one I think was Fall City, where they had turf infield, grass outfield.
Oh, that messes up.
They literally made me put on my tennis shoes to bat and run the bases. I had to put my cleats on between every half inning.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Man, it's crazy. I remember watching the Purdue games. It just seems like Nebraska always played out there late. I think their field is better. Now, they must have upgraded their grass, right?
Purdue?
Yeah.
They did. It was better this year. It was better.
Okay.
So years past, because remember in Scott's first year where if the lineman, whoever he was, just missed the dude, and if he would have just literally stood in the guys, it was like, remember, it was 4th and 1.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, Nebraska can't get a yard, but the lineman, if he would have just stood in the guy's way, would have ran in there. That field looked like something out of the Dust Bowl. Straight, I mean, on TV, right? It's like they just had to go and spray paint the lines and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, and generally you think that's a fast surface. It's not, because you can't dig in it.
Nope.
You can't explode out of there.
Kind of spin your wheels a little bit.
Yeah, and it's like you sink. And if you're not used to playing it, when you're coming from a better practice facility or practice grass, you know what I'm saying, then going and playing, it's an advantage. And sometimes it could play home field advantage.
The fastest and the best was Arizona State. When we went out there and played them, it was so fast, and it was so thin. That grass was so thin and fast. I was like, holy smokes! Did you like old San Francisco Stadium back in the day with the baseball with the dirty? Wasn't that?
No, that was Oakland.
Oakland. Did you like that?
I didn't mind it. But it was just like
It was dirt patch.
Yeah, you be up in there and get dirt up in your face and stuff. But I wore a visor, you know what I'm saying? But
pitcher's mound.
Yeah, they cheat. They just was just
Bro.
Al Davis just cheap. Him and the Oakland A's owner, they just the two cheapest dudes out there. You trying to tell me during football season, you got brothers out here playing on a baseball field, like you were playing, like you up there playing, in Elkhorn or something, I'm
like, that's gotta suck.
Yeah,
because the 20-yard line going into the end zone,
mm-hmm.
from the numbers outside, it was dirt. Then there was turf inside the numbers.
Yeah,
I'm like, holy smoke!
One of the fastest tracks in the NFL was Jacksonville, because it was new.
It was new.
Yeah, because we were tearing Fred Taylor.
I was about to say Fred Taylor and give you the business.
No,
Jay.
I'm telling you, every time we played, trust me, my sphincter muscle was tight. Okay, hey. It tightened up.
Fred was a beast.
Right. Hey, look, when you played, it was Edgerrin James, Eddie George, Fred Taylor. Ain't no weeks, and it's 6 times a year. You better be ready.
Fred Taylor was a beast.
Right. But we played him one year on a Thursday night. He was like, "Boy, y'all fast flowing." I was like, "Yeah, this turf is good. We running the hitting on you. I'm scraping all day long. We over the top. As soon as he come up in there, it's 2 or 3 hard heads hitting him." Yeah.
How was the turf at Memorial Stadium?
So, when I got here, it was that hard turf.
Yeah, that was about one. So it was
90.
And
it was a crown.
Yep.
It was a crown. If you don't know what a crown is, from sideline to sideline, you can barely see
the other side.
Yeah. But it was for speed. Running the option, the quarterback and the running backs can get downhill faster.
Mm-hmm.
They thought it was an advantage.
Yeah,
it was a crown, and it was turf. It was hard.
But it was, you get them cherries on. We used to call them cherries, where you tackle somebody and get a turf burn. It'd be the whole. I used to have you could be able to. You can see it right here.
Yeah,
it's still there, and it'd be just Your skin, you see your skin on there.
Then they got it redone in 92.
No, they got it redone after. So it had to be after 94 because that's when they started watering down the field.
They start watering it down.
95 because the first year that when I went through spring, my dad was like, "Man, what's all that on your arms?" I'm like, bro, this turf is tearing me up out the front. Because actually the turf in the Cook was better than the one, you know, the one on the stadium as far as forgiveness and stuff like that.
Dang.
And that's why it was so hard. Everybody was getting turf toe. And that's when we had them. We had that Converse contract,
Man,
and them shoes was like running in Timberlands,
like running in
Timberlands
and them army boots.
Yeah, and they was high tops.
They were high tops.
They had receivers out there. I remember seeing Abdullah come out there with high tops. I said, man, what? I said, we a national championship team. Y'all this. I'm thinking y'all cheap. So I went to the mall and went to Foot Locker. Yeah, I'd worked. I had a summer job, so back then the shoes was, you know, they was expensive, but $50. So they had these cross training shoes that were all black. They probably was for like people that worked in the hospital.
Yeah.
But I liked them though, you know. So I and actually, if you look in that picture in there, you see them. So what I did was, with Glenn, I peeped it out with Glenn. If he knew you had some other shoes, magically they come up missing. So I practiced all
Glenn
week.
was the equipment guy.
Yeah, so I practiced all week in them Converse. Come Saturday, Nikes is coming, and then I put them in my bag.
So we had cons, and a lot of us went and got Nikes, and T.O. got a phone call. So at halftime or on the sideline, they had spray painted our shoes, or spat it so the Nikes couldn't show.
Yeah, see, I spattered mine, so then it was all good. But once I seen him take somebody's shoes, and I think they wouldn't spat it.
Yeah.
Hey man, that $50 was a big purchase, but I knew. Look,
if you're gonna play the game, you got to go all the way. You can't
going out in them cons, huh?
I play it, but they was heavy.
They were heavy,
and I say everybody that had Converse had turf toe. So I was like, hey, Converse heavy turf toe. I know what Nikes do. I'm gonna do what I need to do.
There you go. Let's take a break. We'll hit hour 2 of Old School. Kenny and Jay with you here on 93.7. Take it back in a sec.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. Equipment. We dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to the attention of the Nebraska Lottery that when people hear a radio commercial in their car for one of our lotto games, Powerball, Mega Millions, or Lucky for Life, they tend to begin daydreaming about how they'll spend the prize money if they win, instead of paying attention to the road. So please, when I tell you that Nebraska Lottery lotto games offer big money and big fun, keep your mind on driving. Do not start thinking about all the things you could buy if you win. Things like bright red sports cars, tropical vacations, 100-inch TVs, hot tubs, SUVs, a new computer, motorboats.
Bob, snap out of it.
Oh, good heavens. Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. Perhaps I should go home now.
You better let me drive.
Lotto games from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Steve's Garage is hiring. They are looking for a garage door installation and service technician with a clean driving record. Experience is not required as they will train for the positions. However, mechanical aptitude is required. If you want to come be a part of a small business where you're family, not just an employee, call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today to 402-480. That's 402-480-2840. Steve's Garage Doors and Services.
This Easter, focus on your family instead of dishes with the Venue Easter to-go meals. Prepared fresh in house by our chefs, these meals are ready to heat and eat with packages for 2 to 3 people or 6 to 8, and your choice of juicy beef tenderloin, tasty herb roasted chicken, or our famous 6-pepper crusted prime rib. All meal packages come with sides, and we have additional add-ons available to complete your feast. Order today at venuedelivered.com/Easter. That's venuedelivered.com/Easter.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rush into your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sport, 48.9.
Coming at you to Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15. 10, 5, score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back, top of the second hour, 5:12. So we already quarter in there. Jay Foreman, Kenny Wilhite, Austin on the ones and twos, making us look good, sound good, and all that stuff. Old School brought to you by the Mercato Certified Piedmontese, special ingredients and butcher shop located at 84th and Havelock. Every type of meat, every type of cut. My man K-Dub went over there and got him some.
No, that's the one we got it when we did the show.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did the show.
It's just been in the freezer.
Yeah, and Kenny put them on there, and they were looking good too. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, people, man.
Oh Lord.
Kenny sent me what he was about to do. I said, man, you sure you know what you're gonna do? And he sent me a picture. Kenny can get on that grill
when I want to.
Yeah, he can get on that grill. So he passed the test. You know what I'm saying? He can. Get on the grill, but hey, they got good food down there, man. Got whether it's burgers, chicken, obviously any type of steak or cut meat. They got pork chops, seafood, some pasta and stuff like that. So it's it's a great place, and it's been everybody that has either went down there to the butcher shop or to to get something to take home or went to the restaurant. They've been pleasantly pleased. So all good down there. We appreciate their support. Every day and any day that they do support the Old School. And so I know you guys were talking a little bit about good weight and bad weight. Hey Kenny, one thing we when you get our age, we don't put nothing but bad weight on.
And it takes a long time to get it off.
I'm telling you, what's funny? I want to say a shout out to my Uncle Butch, Francis Houston Foreman.
Dang man, using that man Hulk up, man. What if somebody looking for him?
Oh, he on the East Coast. They ain't gonna. They go look for him. They in some trouble because he packed. He ready for him. He bringing more heat than hell with him.
Man, so, man.
Hey, it's his birthday.
Happy birthday, huh?
But I remember him telling me, when he might have been in his 50s or something, and I think I was just getting out the league or whatever, and he was like, "Look, man, when you get this age, back then you
think you're invincible."
Well, no, you could go and hit a good workout. And then, for a week or two, then you be back in, reasonable shape. You know what I'm saying? If you had, just getting back, started working out. He's like, man, when you get this age, man, it takes long. You got to work out harder and longer to get it off. I'm like, man, whatever. Hey,
he didn't lie.
There's not one thing that he told me in life that didn't come to fruition. but I was sometimes too hard-headed to listen.
We
So,
all are.
hey, man, we always try to encourage people to get to the gym. Obviously, we got people from Farrell's on Saturdays. Mark lost over 100 pounds, on Weiler.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's lost, I think, well over 100.
Oh, wow.
AD, he's big pump. I always tell AD, they're gonna steroid test you when you go there for the when you be the motivational speaker, man.
Yeah.
Because you straight gun show, bro.
That's all he does.
He doing gun show. And then you got Big Raph, he be in there too. He the bodyguard, you know what I'm saying? So and then you got Strick. He's on his I heard Strick in there talking about he trying to get summer sexy. I had to turn it dialed in though.
Said summer sexy.
I was like,
no, he's getting referee ready.
Yeah, that's better. But he tried to say he's getting summer sexy. I just had to.
He's getting referee ready.
I had to turn it down because come on, bro.
Some of us were stuck in here with him all day.
I know because Austin was stuttering and stuff because he didn't know how to recover. But with that being said, headed to the weekend. It's going to be a good weekend as far as weather-wise, Easter. But we got sports that are being played, and the Masters is on. The big story today is Brooks Koepka. He's 12 under. Had another good round, flawless round, 67, minus 12. Big Daddy John Rahm, the Spanish assassin, is 9 under, but he's got another 9 to go. Must be a weather delay. Victor Hovland is struggling a little bit after really jumping out 7 under. But the big story, I think, is Sam Bennett, 8 under, and he's an amateur, Kenny. That means homeboy is just left.
He's stroking it.
He left Calculus 3, landed in Augusta and putting in work. He's a U.S. amateur champion, and he has a unique character. Then you got some other guys, and Tiger Woods trying to hold his head above water, battling like he always does. So I think they're going to have to try to place 27 tomorrow, which doesn't work in Tiger Woods' favor, considering that he has physical limitations. But he has a heart of a champion. We'll see if he pulls through.
My man Phil Mickelson moved up.
Phil Mickelson, he been on his fitness. He only lost 48 pounds or something like that. My man looks like he's half of his original size. And it's a good sports weekend. You got obviously NBA playoffs coming down the pipe. You got UFC. What they call it? He calls himself Style Bender or whatever his name is, and he's trying to win back get pride and win his title back. DP down there, he's gonna be all hyped up. You got the Masters coming through, but I want to ask your opinion. I know you follow basketball quite pretty good. In your opinion, who's the NBA? Who's the MVP?
So three-headed. I think three people.
Who you got?
Embiid, Jason Tatum, and
Joker.
Now Joker's been out the last 4 games, 5 games. I don't know how many. And I think I watched Embiid last night. He's trying to win the MVP. They were down 30.
Yeah, he's going
25, and he was trying to get his groove on.
Yeah.
So he's trying to win MVP. To me, it's just those 3. Giannis kind of took a dip. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
and Giannis is kind of one of those things that he's in Milwaukee, so he's not. He's on prime time, but he's not on all the time. And you got to think, a lot of times you might see the Nuggets against Phoenix late. And obviously when you're in Boston, that's a bigger market. Giannis has been hurt, but when he's healthy,
did you see KD last night? Speaking of Phoenix, he put in that work last night.
He's starting to kind of get
his groove back.
Yeah, and figure out how to play with Booker and Chris Paul.
Booker better figure out how to play with him.
Well, but that's a great thing about KD. KD is KD. Yes. Like he always says when people question him, he's like, "Do you know who I am? I'm Kevin Durant." Well, the great thing about KD and LeBron is that you can take them off a team in the middle of the season, put them on a championship contender team, and they'll figure out still to be a dominant player within the system. That's what makes them so great. My vote would be Embiid. Joker's won it 2 years in a row. Tatum went on a little bit of a run to start the season off, then dipped a little bit. And it's a little bit hard with him when you got Brown with him, where you got two guys that kind of play the same, built the same, and both of them kind of switch halves or switch games when they want to be dominant. But Tatum is on the rise of being a dominant kind of 2, 3, 4 type of player. But I think Embiid earned it this year. You know, I wish they did it or voted a little bit later.
I do too. I wish it was voted
because
later.
I want to see how Philly plays
in the playoffs.
and how he plays in the playoffs.
Yes, they can't.
That's the
they
biggest.
can't go one. They can't go one series out the first series.
Right. That's what I think hurts him from prior years when you play. You know, and let's also Denver hasn't done well, but I think Joker's stats are so dominating when he's starting to get all those triple doubles.
Yes,
it kind of washes over, you know, their playoffs or lack of playoff success. And they had that one run when they got to the championship in the bubble, or Western Conference championship in the bubble to go against the Lakers. So I think Embiid will win it this year. I think when he had that 52-point game, I think a couple of days ago, and Doc said, you know, there's no question. I think it's, you know, it'd be very disappointing if he didn't win it this year, but you just never know.
You never know what them voters are thinking. I got the chance to watch your boy play in Denver. He's got that old man's game now. He moves like we were talking about it. Robert Parrish.
Yeah.
Austin.
We were. Yeah.
He moves like it hurts.
Oh yeah.
He moves like it hurts, but he can give you work now.
He knows his spacing.
He knows.
He plays at his pace.
Yes.
And the thing is, he's tall and he's big, so he shoots the ball like Larry Bird over his head.
Yes.
So he playing at his pace, and the thing it's him and Luka Doncic. They both play at such a slow pace or slower pace than everybody else plays in the NBA, where they play so frantic that they see things that everybody else doesn't see.
They don't get sped up.
No,
they do not get sped up. It's amazing.
Part of it is they can't speed up because they're not that athletic, but mentally, and they control the game.
He's kind of athletic.
Luka is
More athletic than the Joker.
Can we use the term sneaky athletic?
Yeah.
Yeah, but both of them are big for their position.
Yes.
Now, Joker's not the tallest, but he's big.
But he's thick.
Thick.
Yes.
I mean, he looked like a bouncer over there in Russia. You know, he's a collector. Hey. I'm charging you juice. So if you you're in there breaking legs, and then Luka, being for a point guard, he's 6'7", and he's kind of chunky, and so he's able to post you up and kind of play the same game. But I think Joker's ability to pass the ball and shoot the ball from deep, and he's getting them in that secondary break, late transition, is something. And I also think both coaches, especially Malone and Denver. In this also, and I want to get into this a little bit. We got 3 minutes. You need a special coach or a coach that can think outside the box to take the Joker, who was a second-round pick, look what he does well, and have a vision and saying this guy can be dominant in the NBA. Kind of like Mark Jackson did with Steph Curry. Because what people don't understand is Mark Jackson had such an impact on the league. I don't understand why he's not up for coaching jobs. His names is out there, but he never gets interviews, and he has this bad rep or whatever. But what he did was, I wouldn't say he saved the league. He added to the league, because people don't understand Steph Curry early in his career they always say he's a defensive liability, wouldn't play late in the games or late in the halves. So I wouldn't say he was on the way out of the league, but they really pigeonholed him there.
Mm-hmm.
So then he also took Draymond Green and is like, I see him. And then he had Clay, and then they just took off. Now, granted, Kerr came in and took it, but then you think Malone, you see Joker. First of all, you don't know whether when they pick these guys from overseas, you don't know whether they're coming or not.
You don't know.
So when he comes and sees him, he's not the most appealing looking. He's a second-round pick, right? Because they probably had to look on YouTube when they scouted him, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're picking these guys from over in the
different
leagues,
countries, yep.
And they're averaging 9.6 boards. So they're trying to project them because they're not offensively dominant, right? Now, Luka been playing pro since he, I think, like 14 or something. So you could project a little bit more. But it takes a coach like Malone to think like, okay, he might not be the best defensively, but offensively, he's so efficient. And then he makes everybody else better. And it allows Gordon to be the kind of slasher. It allows Jamal Murray to be that shooter. And then they start adding pieces around it. And then you got a championship contending team.
You brought up Draymond, right? He was a second-round pick.
Yep.
Have you seen his rookie year summer league?
Oh, he was doing work.
Have you seen it? Somebody posted it last night.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I told you, if you go and watch Draymond before the game, he can shoot.
That's what So I went to the game.
Yeah,
and
he was breaking you down too.
But he was putting it on the floor. He
Yeah.
was, turnarounds. I'm like, but he's getting upper in age. Now, he's playing his role now.
Right. He talks about it. He talked about it on his podcast where, when he came in, obviously he needed to score because he was undersized. And then he was kind of like in the second unit. So he was playing kind of a point forward. So he was doing everything. Again, Mark Jackson was like, yeah, that's appealing. But then he realized this team, so he would only play, he was talking about, he'd only play like 8 minutes playing his offensive, say, role.
Mm-hmm.
But then he had a couple games. He realized this team needed toughness. Well, he's like, I'm from Saginaw, Michigan, so this ain't, this is what I am.
Right up my alley.
So then he brought that. Then the minutes, and then then it just took off. Kevin Looney, that plays for them, that actually plays center. If you go back and watch him in college, straight up,
he gets on my nerves sometimes.
I know he was. Hold on, at UCLA, he was a small forward.
Gotcha.
Now he's a center. So, but then Mark Jackson, then Steve Kerr said, okay, we know you're 6'10", 6'11", and he's big, but he's kind of a little slow foot. Like you can get away with it when you're 6'10" and playing in UCLA, because you can overwhelm people. But okay, I know you can play defense, and I know you'll rebound good enough for us, but you give us a little bit of offensive threat as a stretch five. That's where the NBA is going. That's when you have real coaches that are able to look at something and not always focus on the negative. And you know what? Next segment, I want to ask you about that as far as football. Now we'll go to football because I think a lot the good teams will just focus on the professional football teams. But even before you got here, there was a coaching staff here where they were going recruiting guys, and then like within a couple months, they'd be like, he can't play. Well, I'm sitting there like, you recruited him.
Preach.
And he's on scholarship.
And he's on scholarship.
So I want to talk about that, how the good coaches and staffs focus on what you do well and still understand and try to rectify your weaknesses to try to hide them. Because you know what? Michael Jordan had weaknesses in his game.
Yes, he did.
LeBron has weaknesses. Kobe had weaknesses. Every player that's played a sport has weaknesses. Tom Brady doesn't matter. The good coaches or the great coaches recognize them and then focus on your positive. We're going to go to break real quick. Come back. Jay Foreman, Kenny Wilhite, Austin, Old School. We'll holla.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to the attention of the Nebraska Lottery that when people hear a radio commercial in their car for one of our lotto games, Powerball, Mega Millions, or Lucky for Life, they tend to begin daydreaming about how they'll spend the prize money if they win, instead of paying attention to the road. So please, when I tell you that Nebraska Lottery Lotto games offer big money and big fun, keep your mind on driving. Do not start thinking about all the things you could buy if you win. Things like bright red sports cars, tropical vacations, 100-inch TVs, hot tubs, SUVs, a new computer, motorboats.
Bob, snap out of it.
Oh, good heavens. Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. Perhaps I should go home now.
You better let me drive.
Lotto games from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is hiring. They are looking for a garage door installation and service technician with a clean driving record. Experience is not required as they will train for the positions. However, mechanical aptitude is required. If you want to come be a part of a small business where your family, not just an employee, call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today to apply at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840. Steve's Garage Doors and Services.
This Easter, focus on your family instead of dishes with the Venue Easter to-go meals. Prepared fresh in-house by our chefs, these meals are ready to heat and eat with packages for 2 to 3 people or 6 to 8 and your choice of juicy beef tenderloin, tasty herb roasted chicken, or our famous 6-pepper crusted prime rib. All meal packages come with sides and we have additional add-ons available to complete your feast. Order today at venuedelivered.com/Easter. That's venuedelivered.com/Easter.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Baby Rico, little mini me.
Rico coming in hot with the beats.
Rico, we gotta give him props.
Beats by Rico.
Yeah, Beats by Rico. It all started here in Lincoln, 937 Ticket. Rico beats, man. I can see Rico blowing up. Living on Miami with sunglasses.
He fit in down there.
Yeah,
he's got that.
Yeah,
he's got that look.
Yep, that is Rico.
He's got that look.
Old school, we are back. We mentioned it before going on the break, talking about coaches, staffs, and how they sometimes can, I'll call it stymie themselves, both as a coach and then maybe as a program. If you, I would call it turn the page or what I guess write the book for a player or a group of players too early and too quick. Because I mean, there, generally when you come into college, you want to have your first impression is your lasting one, but there could be other things that need to happen to help somebody develop. They might need to be more comfortable in living in Lincoln. They might be more comfortable in being in a team. They might have to have a relationship with the coach like a Kenny Wilhite knows how to push them, or they didn't come from a disciplined high school program or knew how to train. Therefore, their development is delayed versus somebody coming from a high school program that ever since they were in 8th grade or freshman year, they've been grinding. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes, and I think it's a little bit a microcosm of society where they want things so quick, right? And that's player and coach and fans. They want you to come out of high school and live up to all the expectations that are way too high, step on the field as soon as possible, and then you're the best that ever played in that position and go to the pros, and then next thing you know, here comes another one. Rinse and repeat. It doesn't happen like that. And people have this understanding or this false narrative of places like Alabama and Georgia that they get great recruiting classes, but those players are developed. Now, they might develop faster because they're getting the top of
the cream of the crop.
Right, but they're still developed.
Yes.
Like people don't understand like Jonathan Allen, who a friend of mine represents, and Payne. They didn't start as freshmen. They redshirted. And then you have guys that end up being like Mobley, that was a linebacker there. Like he was a redshirt freshman running down on kickoff. That's it. Earning his stripes and developing and becoming a player that when he started, he obviously lived up to his billing. And so I wanted to ask you about that. And you being obviously privy to different staffs And obviously, I'm not going to name any names. And the good thing about it is you've been what 3 staffs, right?
Mhm.
It was
Bo,
Riley,
and
and
Frost.
How cringeworthy or well, let me rephrase that. Like, why is it you think that some coaches and some staffs recruit a kid, and then by the end of their first year, they'll be like, "Oh, he can't play," and then now you got the kid for almost 4.5 more years because if he redshirts, obviously he's going to be here for 5 years. Why do you think that happens?
It goes back to doing your homework. There's no exact science to recruiting. There isn't. But if you, as a staff, 9 times out of 10, the head coach makes the final decision on who you take. He's making the final. He's checking off on who you take.
So essentially, if I see Austin, and I'm like, that dude can play.
Yes.
And then it'll say I'm the
whatever coach you are.
Whatever coach I am. Because now I'll ask you this before you get going. So if I'm a linebacker coach and say my area is Florida
Mhm.
or, just that part of the country, and Austin is a tight end, but I say I'm going to watch a linebacker at Soul School, but in a tight end, and I'm looking at him or whoever's in there. Like I can say, hey, he's scholarship guy.
So you come back and you say, hey, the guy you were going to watch, which is the position player, you coach linebacker, so you was watching the linebacker. You may notice a tight end on his team or the other team, but you come back and be like, hey, this team has a tight end that we really need
Should
to
look at.
So you turn it over, tight ends coach watch him, checks off on him, and the head coach checks off on him.
And that's when the scholarship.
And that's when the scholarship offers.
No.
So once you get them on your campus, and after 6 months, you think he's not good enough, that's not enough time. But it was being done.
Right.
And because, like you said, the word development. He may have been a really good high school player.
Like everybody.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, that's what people don't understand. Like nobody's going to listen, people out here. Even the athletes in any sport that go and play Division III, they're really good high school players.
Yes.
So when they come to Nebraska, 9 times out of 10, they were the best in high school.
Yes.
So nobody's coming here. It's not like, oh yeah, man, we got this dude's a 5-star recruit. He garbage. Like he was garbage in high school.
Mhm.
I mean,
No.
granted, now there's always an outlier because
You can fudge 4 to 5. You
Right.
can't fudge 3 to 5.
right,
No. So again, freshman,
right.
when you say he's probably the best player on his team.
Oh yeah, on his team. Yeah, that's what
On
I'm
his
saying.
team.
You're right.
But when he gets here at his position,
just
you
a
should
guy.
have 3. You just a guy. So you have to take time. You have to develop. And I always say, Austin Allen was a developmental guy coming
Right.
in.
Basketball player.
Basketball player. You can't give up on an Austin Allen.
No.
Now it's individual too. Now it's up to the player too.
Right. Because it's a relationship.
It's a relationship. So, but the player has to put in the work
Right.
in order to get better. So I use Austin Allen as an example. He was one of them. Cam Taylor-Britt came in. He was an athlete. He had to learn how to be a defensive back. He had all the tools, but he had to learn because he played quarterback. He had to learn how to become a defensive back.
Right.
So he was developed.
Right.
He wasn't a ready-made player.
Yeah, Cam Jurgens too.
Cam Jurgens.
He had to develop in
He
the
had
weight room
developed
and as a position.
and in
change.
the position, but he had the athletic and the physical tools
Right.
to do it, but he never snapped the ball before. You know what I mean? So you can't give up. Now, you can't have that many misses either.
Right.
Because if you bring in kids from Florida,
Mhm.
Georgia,
Yeah.
and within 6 months, they're not good enough, now that's on you as a staff. You didn't do your homework. You just taking somebody else's word for it. You really didn't dig down deep. Does this kid loves football? Or is he just doing it because he gets the notoriety?
Right.
That's where
That's where the rubber hits the road. Right.
that's where the disconnect is. So you have to do your homework. First and foremost, you got to ask people about the kid. But then you can't give up on the kid either.
Right.
Because you're stuck with him. Because it's a 4-year deal.
Well, yeah, 4 or 5, right? Yeah.
5-year deal.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot of money invested. You're
lot
talking
of-
about meals, school, swag.
Yes.
And my thing is like this, like I always said that like this last staff wouldn't have recruited me. You know what I mean?
They wouldn't have recruited me.
Right. I mean, well, for me is because I ain't never lift weights. I got here. I used to walk through the weight room with T.O.
I'm with you.
That's the first thing.
Exactly.
That's the first time T.O. ever got like tightened me up. So you know they used to give us some sheets, right?
Yes.
So here's what I do. I get that sheet and I walk around.
What's on this sheet?
So it's your workout.
It's your name.
Okay.
And
I still have mine.
You do?
I'll bring it in.
Yeah, bring
I
it
still
in.
have it. Not to cut you off, but you know how you said T.O. would run after practice? So after practice, we would go lift.
You're right, yeah.
So you get your sheet. Brian Bailey was my guy.
Mm-hmm.
I go put 135 on the bench, do that, and I'm out because you had to get your majors lifts signed off on. T.O. be running. He's like, Ken? I was the only person I let call me Ken, but Ken, that was a quick lift. Yeah, coach, I got to go do study hall. I got to go do this.
Right.
I hated going in that weight room.
Hey, but see, he was better than me. I get that bad boy and go in there and like dap up or whatever, see Kevin Coleman and walk right out to the weight room and walk right to the locker room.
Right to the locker room.
Showered and back to the dorm, kicking it.
Was it your freshman year?
Freshman year.
Oh,
so I ain't lift weights till I got when I got here, I had never lifted weights. But when I first got here, like when we was in like freshman camp, I wasn't lifting no weights. Like, nah, man. I used to tell them like, bro, this is natural. But then all came to fruition when Troy Dumas and Dante Jones and Christian Peter came in. I said, yeah, I got to get in the weight room because the brother had them pea shooters and all that stuff. I was like, hey, okay. And then I was out because the worst thing that happened was for me that boosted my head up was the brother was out there balling. So I had never played defense. So I went from offense to defense. And then, Coach G, I was linebacker. Then I'm out there knocking because I'm gonna hit you. That's one thing I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna find that ball. So I'm out there wrecking shop. What I'm like, oh yeah, that weight stuff is for the sacks, right? T.O. was like, hey man, they tell me in the he's like, hey Jay, was it Boyd and Mike Arthur says they hadn't seen you in the weight room since you've been here. I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. He's like, you're just part of being a bro. I was like, look, man, this is natural. The TO was like, yeah. They was like, hey, you need to get up in there. Clint Brown that's how me and Clint Brown came tight.
That was your workout buddies?
Well, Coach Sam. So we in linebacker. We in the they had the rush ins and the linebacker, outside linebacker, my outside linebacker position, and the rush ins were in the same meeting room. So Coach Sam would be right where Kenny's at, and then say that was the screen. And then he had Grant in front of him because Grant was like narcoleptic. Soon as the lights go out. But hold the thing about Grant. Grant fall asleep, but could hear everything. Straight up.
That was me.
So, but then I would be sitting over there next to Mike Ruck. Me and Mike Ruck, I'm over right there. So it goes down. I'm thinking I'm cool. I'm just, chilling. Clint Brown's in there and Troy. He's like, hey, Chief. Hey, he said Troy and Dante and Dwayne. He's like, we got to tighten our young buck up, right? I'm thinking it's Ruck because Ruck came in wolfing, talking about he from St. Joe and all that. And I just kept my mouth shut, right? So I'm thinking I'm sitting back. Oh yeah, they're gonna mess with Ruck because Ruck just been yapping for 2-3 weeks, right? Trying to get street credit. I'm just like, hey, I ain't trying to get tied up against the goalpost
because they would do it,
right? So I already seen it 2 or 3 times. I'm like, man, you hard-headed. Stop talking. Just go to practice and go home. That's what I'm doing. He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, our young little linebacker, Coach say, our young little linebacker think he don't need to lift no weights. Which one of y'all gonna get him right? Dwayne Harris turned around and said, what? That's what I got. I was like, that's what I got.
That's what Debo.
That Debo, I was like, uh-oh, right? Dante, he looking, Dante looking at you side eye
with his glasses,
right? Yeah, he looking at you side eye. Troy Dumas over there laughing, right?
He would laugh at you
because Troy Dumas laughing because everybody looking at me, and Clint was like, "I got him," and then after that, that was it, and then I was on my way, man. Because like I'm saying, I'm a firm believer. Whether it was Bo, Mike Riley probably would have recruited me just because of the connection with the NFL. My dad.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, knew Mike. Bo wouldn't have recruited me, I don't think. first of all, because I'm from Minnesota, and I was,
You weren't from Ohio.
right, or anything like that, and Scott and those guys, just because of I was a developmental project, but T.O. and those guys, would have done it. So I always wondered about a staff and staff meetings, and I've been in a few, but when you're on them and you have 2 or 3 different staffs, where I remember, it was way before Scott got here, so don't think this always. Everybody thinks if you're talking about a staff, it's about them. That I was talking to the former defensive coordinator here, and he was talking about a defense line. This was right after Cam Meredith had to play defensive tackle in the Big Ten championship. So I don't even know if you were here. And they had 2 or 3 guys. I was like, man, what about him? He on scholarship? He's like, oh, he can't play. I'm sitting there looking at him. I'm sitting there thinking, like, you can't get 12 plays out of him, 15 plays out of him, so you ain't got to play one dude 50-some plays? That's what you telling me? That these 2 dudes that are on scholarship, that you can't sit there and say, look, man, I need 10 plays out of you, and not 10 in a row. That's where I'm asking you, because I think they were so focused on it, focus on that stuff. And I know it was a little bit different because recruiting Big 12, Big 10. But at the end of the day, your roster is a roster.
Your roster is your roster. And again, I always talk about Coach Sam. He wanted the best guys on the field, regardless of size. So
he didn't care. That's one thing. He didn't care what you look like.
No. But if you got a guy you got a really good athlete standing on the sideline,
Coach Sam ain't having that.
No, he ain't having that. We got to find somewhere to put him. And it goes back to my guy, Harburg.
He's going to be somewhere. I told you that.
He's a really good athlete. You can't have him standing on the sideline.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this.
You can't.
I'm going to tell you this.
You got to find a position
Husker
for him.
Football Nation, social media, I can promise you, as God is my witness, that man would never hit me like that.
Well, they probably don't know what you're talking about, but there's a video.
They put a video out in Harburg. They must have did a toss, and then the quarterback kind of goes and finds somebody.
Block.
He rocked the mic on a defender. Let me tell you something.
Not bad quarterback. Not bad quarterback.
I don't care who it was. The next day at practice, I don't care if we out there in shells. I'm ripping your head off. I'm trying to knock your head off the white meat. I'm just trying to take your head off. Period. A quarterback launched and depleted you.
That can't happen.
That'll be different if you didn't see him, because everybody got guys.
Yeah, you got guys.
You running and then you turn boom. That's just, you think like, oh, that was a cheap shot. He squared you up. But here's what, all jokes aside, and then we'll go to break and get our short one in. This is the easier when we're on the stream. We just do what the hell we want. DP, and he down there drinking pina coladas and between DP and Eric, man.
Strick was in today.
I know he was.
He was in today.
I know. I heard him. He talking about getting summer sexy and stuff and all that stuff, man. I don't know what's Strick. But I'm gonna tell you this though. All jokes aside, Harburg is making a name for himself. Most likely not a quarterback, because at the end of the day, whether Casey starts or Sims starts and Casey's the backup, vice versa, you number 3, you only getting in there if it hell or high water didn't happen. All right. But when you see somebody with that type of athletic ability, and he's kind of embraced it of getting a new lease on life in his football life, and he's on record as saying he's open to a position change, which is not normal for quarterbacks. I don't remember any quarterbacks here that said that. Every quarterback that's left, McCaffrey was like, I ain't doing it, and
but then did somewhere else.
Yeah, but that's only because everywhere he went to Louisville and they was like, no, and then he went to Wright and then they were like, he knew he ain't had no more other spots. But normally a quarterback is going to say no. So for the fact that he's open to it, it'd be very hard for them not to keep him on the team and put him somewhere, even if it's at like and I hate to say it, because this dude has bamboozled the league like no other, like Taysom Hill. I'm telling you.
Bro, don't knock that man hustle.
I'm not knocking his hustle. But why are you getting quarterback money and you ain't.
That's on the GM.
That's on Sean Payton. That's
on the GM and the owner.
I'm not knocking his hustle, but I'm just saying. All right, I was sometime hating. You know what I'm saying. I apologize.
There you go.
It
takes a man.
You know what I was hate Taysom Hill.
Get your money. Get your bread.
Because as many for Taysom Hill, there's 50 other cats that didn't get their money. You get it and keep getting it too. Because you know what? If you don't work out in New Orleans, you can always go to Denver because Sean Payton like you. So you gonna mess around. He gonna mess around and get 10 years in and can't play dead. But real quick,
Chase Daniels.
But he can actually play though, because he runs scout team like no other, and when he get in there, he'll win you a game. When he goes in, he plays good. Look, when you play for the Chiefs, Andy Reid signed off on you. You good. That's like the Golden State. That's like the Don of the Mafia and say you a made guy. He there. He gonna play. He gonna get 18 years in. But back to Harburg and Rule. This is you get what I'm saying. The first impression that you make on a new coach, if it's like where both sides can come to some sort of agreement, he could make a good name for himself and eventually work into something, because it ain't about athletic ability. Homeboy can run. He's fast, run, strong.
He can
jump. I mean, them dudes ain't just walking. I mean, they ain't a lot of dudes. What is he, 6'4"?
Yeah.
225?
Not walking around looking like that.
225? They ain't. I'm telling you, when you look at that roster, don't matter what the size is, they ain't got that. They ain't got too many brothers down that, and that's which because they ain't got too many brothers on that roster that can get up like he can. Now, when we play, Baron Miles will get up and raise up on you.
Yep.
And he ain't with a little itty bitty thing, look with like 5'7".
No, he and I was the same height.
How tall are you?
5'9".
Yeah, but he would get up on you.
Yeah.
Does Junior have a future?
So I spoke to someone who was at practice and said he was looking pretty good, but he's an athlete.
Yeah,
he's just been banged
Hurt.
up. He had a
hip, real bad hip,
real bad
hip.
So he keeps battling back from it, but he's got some tools. When he showed up as a freshman,
yeah, he was doing work.
He was our natural. He was the best fielder in punt returns.
And this is another thing about him was when he came in as a true freshman, he was the only receiver in there. Him and Alante Brown was the only one throwing hands. Straight A, and with no hesitation either.
So he's got some tools.
Yeah,
he's got some tools.
He's getting the opportunity.
And I heard his dad was in town. I'm gonna get on him. Baron Miles Sr. was in town. I'm gonna get on him. He didn't reach out to me. He usually reaches out to me. He was here. I'm gonna get him.
That means he's on a mission.
He probably was.
Yeah, that means he's trying to.
He probably
he's probably trying to see something, man. He got to see. He's probably trying to see his kid and try to see what the situation is.
They 20 deep at that position.
Yeah, they didn't bring. Hey, it was like a Craigslist. If you play receiver, you got any eligibility left?
That's what it was.
If Abdul would have said I got a half a semester left, Abdul would have been down there. Hey, he would have been stop route. He been running the stop routes on him.
That man kept saying we need another receiver. I'm like, there's 20 on the roster.
Who said that? Brashawn?
No.
Rule?
No.
Oh, who?
Previous regime.
Oh no. Yeah. See that's just them. That's just him saying he's hoping to get Randy Moss. Look, dude. And here's the thing. No, I ain't gonna get into it. We're gonna go to break, and then we're gonna wish everybody a happy Easter when we come back. Do we even have any time?
Got a couple minutes.
But do we even have a couple minutes of commercials?
If you want to be done, we can just play commercials and be done.
All right, we're gonna go 2 more minutes, and then we can do that, man.
Sure.
But I think sometimes like coaches and stuff like that, like can think like you see whatever somebody else has, and that's what you want. But here's what Iowa does, and this is what Wisconsin does, because Ted Gilmore's up there, and some of the guys I play with went to Wisconsin. They just say, you know what, I love what we got,
and let's develop,
and we're gonna do it. Because let me tell you something, you can talk about all the 4 or 5 star receivers that you want. That first year, that receiver from Northwestern was doing work. Oh my God. Hey, he was in and out of breaks. He looked like Kyrie Irving's breaking somebody's ankles.
Yeah.
And then I'm not even going to talk about Amadeus or whatever his name is at Wisconsin. You remember him?
Jared Aberderis.
Jared Aberderis.
Northwestern, Poe Aaron Williams.
Hey,
Antonio Reed.
They were rocking them cats, though. But then they was running them over, though.
I know.
But Aberderis, whatever his name is, was doing work. Doing so much work. He was in Green Bay for a few years. He wasn't no possession receiver. This is what people need to understand, man. Don't get fooled. And that's what we were talking about, Riley Moss and all this. Don't get fooled when you see some dudes out there playing these skill positions and think they ain't going to get at you.
Mm-hmm.
I see it all the time that I coach basketball. And I tell my players, listen, don't think these dudes are intimidated by you, and don't think they won't yam on you.
Mm-hmm.
These kids are more developed. They ain't scared, and they trying to make a name for themselves. And that 7-on-7, because Steve Warren got dudes up there doing work on cats. They going down to Kansas City, St. Louis. They just say, hey, come on.
Come on. Abdul too.
Yeah.
His 7-on-7 team.
Killing them. And I know what these cats down south be thinking. Oh, these cats from Nebraska can't play. And they be mad when they be losing too, because Abdul be hitting them on social media.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to. But that's been the best thing for Nebraska football, high school football. Those two creating opportunities for kids not to be sitting at home playing video games.
Right.
Working on their craft.
If I was a coaching staff, those are two dudes that I would, and I know there's other trainers and stuff like that, but those are two guys that I would immediately be becoming friends with and immediately be in constant contact with. It's not even they're getting guys from Iowa and everywhere in all parts of Nebraska to come there and train. But then also the fact that they're able to see those guys, they're going to tell you who else is good that maybe not be playing for them. Bro. And there was an old thing that they had somebody and reach out. I know for a fact Steve said that he ain't heard from nobody from previous staffs in a long time.
Yep.
Because they, first of all, one staff didn't recruit Harrison Phillips, who's still playing in the league, talking about he wasn't tall enough to play D tackle.
You ain't got to tell me. I wasn't here for it, but I heard about it.
And David Shaw came in here and asked one question: is he the toughest guy in your school? And they said, yeah.
I heard about it. And then
went to Stanford.
Yep.
All right. Well, on the bigger and better things, I want to wish everybody a happy Easter, happy Master Sunday.
For those that celebrate it.
Yeah, for those that celebrate it, I got to be,
correct.
Correct.
Just correct. Yep.
But have a good weekend. Enjoy the weather. If you get a chance, go to the Mercado, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be grilling season. Eric talking about he getting summer sexy. We about to get greedy grilling. We about to start grilling, and we're gonna have a cookout here pretty soon, so it's gonna be on and popping, man. But we appreciate you guys listening. Have a good weekend. Austin, Kenny, Jay Foreman, we are out.
And we are out.